Hi, everybody. Jean Humbrecht with Humbrecht Law, criminal and traffic defense attorney in Manassas, Virginia. Welcome to our first local business spotlight of 2022. I am joined by my very special guest today, Carla Carter Valentino, who's going to be talking about Healthy Life Simplified. So Carla is a holistic entrepreneur, and she customizes the needs of her clients to help them achieve their health goals utilizing DNA and other personalized assessments. So, Carla, can you tell everybody a little bit more about what it is specifically that you do?
Well, I help people find out what is nutrition best for them, meaning their supplements, and their food, their workouts, certain things like that. It's based on a health assessment and actually your DNA, which is a saliva test. It just helps you narrow down and say, this is exactly what your body needs and what it doesn't need. Instead, it takes the guessing game out of like going to like GNC or, a vitamin shop. It's not a one size fits all. Everybody's unique. Everybody's different. And that's where we come in and give you exactly what your body needs.
So there's so much that I want to talk about here. First, you say a DNA assessment with the saliva. So can you just tell us what the person needs to do and what that DNA result can show you?
Yeah, literally you order a little DNA kit. It's 4 saliva swabs. You swab it, you send it off to Molecular Labs. It's our partner lab that we use. And once they receive your sample, you will then get an email with a 46-page report because we test over 20 plus markers. It will tell you how your body reacts to dietary fats, dietary carbs. Are you slow to recovery? Are you prone to injury? How your body reacts to metabolic stress, what type of workouts. It tells you so many things that we can then dial that in and guide you where you need to go as far as if you're looking for weight loss. Are you looking just to be a better performer? Are you an athlete and you're trying to maximize your results? It could be for any array of reason why most people come to me because they're looking for weight loss. That's pretty much it, but I can really help them figure out what they should be putting into their body. And we do real food. We don't do meal packets. It's all supplements and lifestyle products. We want you to eat real food, but we want you to eat the right food. And that's what the DNA will help you figure out.
Okay, so you mentioned working out. You mentioned slow to recover from injury. You mentioned, I think, fatty foods and carbs. My first question before getting too scientific, how exactly can the DNA test in the saliva figure these things out for a person, different than, something a doctor could tell you?
Okay, well, first of all, a doctor is just going to assess what's going on in your body. They're not a nutritionist. They're not a dietitian. They're not a personal trainer. They just do a short amount of studies, from what I understand, in college. So what you really need to do, and they're not going to do a DNA test on you. So everybody's body is unique. For instance, I did my DNA, and this is my report right here. And this tells me personally, the doctor can't tell me because he doesn't know my DNA, is that I'm deficient in B6, I'm deficient in B12, but I'm good in my Ds, I'm good in my Es. It also told me, which explains why I have to do so much stretching before and after a workout, because I am prone to injury and I'm slow to recovery. But I'd been like that my whole life. I just didn't realize, okay, well, I need to do extra stretching and I need to do different things for my body that maybe somebody else does who can just, jump on a treadmill and be fine. Not me, because I hurt myself. It also told me when I started my journey 3 years ago, figuring out what I need to do. And then 2 years ago, I did my DNA and I dropped the 30 pounds and I kept it off and I dropped like 6 pant sizes, which is crazy. But when I first started, I was doing all the wrong workouts, even though I was eating the good foods. I turned out I was doing high impact training, and my DNA says I should be doing all endurance like that. If I want fat loss with exercise, I need to be doing all endurance. So instead of doing weights and high impact training, things like that, I need to be more on the treadmill, running, walking, doing anything, swimming, anything for an extended length of time. And that's when I really started seeing the difference in my body. That's when the pounds and the inches really started coming off, because my DNA said what's best for my body.
Okay. So you personally actually noticed a difference once you did the assessment and then changed your workout habits.
Oh yeah. In fact, I mean, I knew how to eat healthy because my son, which I can tell you later how I got into ID life. I knew how to eat clean, but I didn't know what was good for my body. So I'm eating like the organic Greek yogurt,
Mhm.
plain, very, avocados, and I have chickens, so I eat my own eggs, out of my backyard. I'm doing all those things, but I wasn't really seeing those inches come off for as much work as I was doing. And what
Mhm.
it turned out is I'm sensitive dietary fats. So even though I was eating very clean, I was actually sabotaging myself because I don't do well with dietary fats. So once I cut back on the Greek yogurt, and eggs were only a couple times a week, and I wasn't having an avocado but every couple of weeks, then in conjunction with the endurance, I was really able to dial in my nutrition and my workouts and really be able to see the difference in my body and keep the weight off for 2 years now. So yeah, I mean, a year and a half. I kept off a year and a half now. So yeah, it's
Okay.
amazing.
Awesome. I have so many questions about that, mostly about the working out, since anybody who's watching this knows I love to work out, and I love to eat too. But I forgot to tell everybody, and forgive me because I haven't done these in a little while. Make sure that you let us know where you're checking in from, and if you have any questions for Carla, type them in the chat. I know that Tina Cross is or was watching, and she loves our live. So hi, Tina. If you're still here, let us know. And yeah, if you have any questions for Carla based on what she's saying or based on any silly questions I ask.
There's no silly questions.
Well, okay. So you mentioned that people who, is it a service? Do I say you provide a service, or is it a product?
So a little bit of both.
Okay.
Mostly I provide the product, but then I can help you to a certain extent. But if you were really looking to dial in and you want to take that DNA report, I definitely have people that I would refer you to that's a
Mhm.
nutritionist and a personal trainer. I mean, I can tell you what the report says and how to act on it, but I'm not a personal trainer, so I don't want to hurt anybody by
Right,
guiding them in a workout that I'm not trained in.
right, right.
Yeah.
So, but my question is, you don't provide food. You help people to. Sorry, I hate my hair. You you help people figure out what real foods to eat that are best for their body, and then other foods to avoid. So, can people still eat cookies or chips or whatever it is that their
Oh,
weakness
yeah.
is? Oh,
Yeah.
thank God, because if you were going to say no, then
Oh gosh, no. I still every Friday, I crack open that big box of pizza, and that's my Friday thing. And bottle of wine. Oh, I don't drink the whole bottle of wine in one sitting, but I mean, I don't like to deny people anything, because what's the point in living if you can't enjoy yourself? I also don't call it a diet. And I call it a lifestyle change, because a
Mhm.
diet is temporary
Right.
and it's a negative thinking. And I like to tell people these are things that you should be doing and not that you shouldn't be doing, because using the words not and don't, it's so negative. I
Mhm.
you should eat this and be more this or do more this and enjoy your curves and swerves. Skinny doesn't mean healthy. I just like,
Mhm.
if you feel good in your body and you feel healthy and you have energy, then celebrate that. But if you're looking to feel healthier, to have more energy, to have better sleep, cleaner skin comes with good healthy eating too, and your supplements, that it can help you with. There's not a certain size that says that. And it annoys me when I hear people say that.
Yeah. No, that's another thing that yeah, we should talk about, because it's not just diet, it's not just exercise. I mean, you could be eating all the right things and doing all the right things in terms of your exercise, but if you're not getting enough sleep, if you have stress, that's going to mess everything up.
Mhm.
So does 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 what you do help take that stuff into consideration, also the other things going on in people's lives?
Yes, yes. So we don't just say, take the supplement, take the DNA, and then go have fun.
Hmm.
That's not what we want to kind of be with you the whole way. I mean, we have a holistic warrior group that we like to put people in. And there's like 4,000 people in there. So you can ask questions, you can ask for guidance. We're always putting good content in there to help you figure out, if you have Hashimoto's, do you have diabetes? Do you have these certain things? There's a lot of people in there that can help you. I've been in your shoes. We have doctors in there. We have physicians and nutritionists. We have so many people in there, including customers, where you can ask. Like, we're here to help you all the way. And I'm always here. People can always ask me. Just because I might not know the answer to that, I'm certainly going to guide them to someone who can give them
Hmm.
answers. I don't want them just to buy stuff and then like, oh, thanks for the sale, I'll see you later.
Hmm.
No, I want to always help you. That's just who I am. And you can ask me anything. It doesn't even have to be health related. I will always help you with whatever you need. So yeah, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So Tina has a question. Carla, do you know Tina?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I figured. Yeah. uh, First, she said, I'm totally interested in finding out more about the assessment. So I guess, Carla, you can talk more about that in a minute. But also, she asked, do you look at medications we are taking to make sure that it all works together?
100%. So in our health assessment, it's actually quite intensive. It's about 30 questions. And what that does, it takes in not just your, age, weight, height, all your generic stuff, which a doctor would ask you, but it's also, where do you live? Where do you work? Do you come in contact with certain chemicals? What do you eat? What's your sleeping like? Do you eat, certain foods? But then it also asks you what kind of medical conditions diagnosed you have and what kind of medications do you take, because there are certain things that will affect a certain supplement. Like if you think of an antibiotic and they're like, don't have any like grapefruit, stuff like that, because it's bad for the antibiotic. It's like that. There's blockers in there. So there's like a million different little scenarios that will start putting things together, like, okay, you take this, so we'll take these supplements out, or you take this, the supplement's great, to go with that medication or that medical condition. So
Hmm.
yeah, there's thousands of medical conditions and medications that are actually in our assessment that you can just type them in, both the generic and the brand name. So yeah, because we don't want you to take anything that's going to be a reaction to any medical condition or medications that you're taking.
I had no idea that you couldn't eat grapefruit if you were taking an antibiotic.
Yeah.
Not that I eat grapefruit all the time, but I just never knew that.
It's one of those weird things I've just don't, I don't know. It's like, I can't remember it. It's like my 20s. Someone said, don't do that. My doctor said, don't eat that. I'm like, okay.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Well, what about things that can change over time? One time I had my annual physical and I was low on vitamin D. I think it was vitamin D. Um, and I think that was right before COVID. And I couldn't get the prescription that my doctor sent to the pharmacy. It was just a whole huge mess. But then the next time I went to the doctor, it was fine. And I don't
So
know
that's
if
a snapshot. Yeah, that was a snapshot in time.
yeah, so I don't know, like I don't think I did anything specifically to try to fix that. I was aware of it and mindful of it, but then the next time it wasn't an issue anymore. So
Yeah, you took the recommended that you needed.
no, I didn't, because I couldn't get my prescription because COVID and everything was just
So maybe you just kind of fixed it by eating maybe some more of your foods had vitamin D in it. Maybe you were going outside more because of COVID. You're probably trying to get out of the house and do more things. You could have been
not at
sleeping it
first, but
that
yeah,
way.
eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it could have been any number of things. You could just been deficient that one time for any number of reasons, but maybe normally you're not. Um, yeah. So I don't absorb it very well at all. Actually, uh, the number is astronomical of the people that are vitamin D deficient. Um,
Oh, and
and
it's common in women too, right?
it's very common in women, but it's a huge, huge issue for a lot of people. I mean, I don't know the numbers, but let's just say half of America. Like it's huge that people are vitamin D deficient.
Hmm.
Um, and for me personally, it's not because I was taking it, but my body doesn't absorb it the way
Mm.
it should. So that's why I have to boost mine up. So most of my life I've been vitamin D deficient, even though I've been taking it. But by time I realized of course I did my DNA, I had to take more than, I was taking. It gave me exactly what I needed. And then from then on, all my blood levels have been right within normal range. My cholesterol was always off, and that's normal. My vitamin D is finally normal. It's nice.
Okay, awesome. Before I go on, Sandra Foster Davis said Carla is amazing. She loves her products and is so helpful. It says
Oh,
lives, but I think she means loves.
oh, I love Sandra. She's just the sweetest.
um, so yeah, if you guys have any more questions, keep them coming because I keep thinking of more questions. Now I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, the vitamin thing. So personally for me, I tend to sometimes be low on iron. So, but I never really like taking vitamins and supplements. And a couple of years ago, I specifically bought an iron supplement. And that just, I just felt sick. It just made me so sick. So I figured it was just too much iron for me. I mean, like common sense, like this, whatever that was, it was too much.
Yeah.
It was just over the counter. It wasn't a prescription. And then another time I tried a multivitamin specifically for women. And again, the same thing. So is it possible that there's like too much in a vitamin for a person?
Because everybody's different.
So it's possible.
Yeah. So when it comes to something over the counter, it's just a guessing game, or multivitamin, because, like you take a multivitamin and I take it, and let's say Sandra and Tina on there are taking it. Why should we all take the same thing? We're all uniquely different. And that's where that health assessment and the DNA comes in. It tells you exactly what your body needs and how much it does it. And then it will tell you, based on medical published journals, why we recommended this based on your answer. So everything is backed by science. So you might have been taking too much. It might have been a very poor quality. A lot of the stuff that you get at GNC or the stores, certain places like that, they're called cosmetic grade, and they're just gross. They're just gross.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that makes sense. It was just an over the counter. I mean, like, I'm not going to say brand, but like, a normal common brand name I got at Walmart or the grocery store or something. But that's good to know. So if I took the DNA assessment, I could find out, exactly what it was in there. Like you need more of this, but not this and that. And then I could figure out by talking to you, obviously, like, what exactly the issue was. Too much of this, not enough of this.
Right. It'll tell you exactly what you need.
Okay. All right. So I got a few comments. Gina Michak says hello. Sorry I'm late. That's okay, Gina. Thank you for tuning in. Gina, you're going to have to come on one of these days to talk about your
Yes.
But anyway, and then Gina says she takes the nightly vitamins as well as other ID Life products that Carla helped her find. Awesome. And then Robin, hey there, sorry I missed this. Wait, stop. I can't. It's scrolling up. Sorry I missed this live. Great information. Well, you didn't miss it, Robin. You're here. So
we're here. It's happening now.
We are live right now. So I'm responding to your comment. So if you have any questions, let us know. Robin said she just got started with ID Life. And I know Robin also is very active with going to, Gina says she left you. I so have ADD. Robin, yeah, I'm live. I know Robin also, to give Robin a shout out, and Shauna Hopper, who has not checked in. Robin is very active with Red Effect Fitness, who actually Shauna's going to be coming on to talk about her gym. So do you, I'm not going to get into details about that, but do you also work with people in terms of, I know you said what types of workouts in terms of endurance, weightlifting, et cetera, but do you help them like find specific places to go, specific programs? Like I'm just throwing names out there, like,
Yeah. So I love that you're going to have Shauna on, because let me give you a huge shout out. I hit her gym 5 days a week since she opened over a year and a half ago.
Okay. Sorry. So Carla and Robin are super active with Red Effect Fitness in Gainesville.
Yeah. And the why I like it is because I had mentioned before that I am slow to recover and I'm prone to injury. So working out under those infrared heat and then sitting in the infrared sauna afterwards for extra stretching, it's rare. It is rare that I am sore afterwards. As like if I go to a cold gym, I would be sore, and I'd always was sore after a cold gym. But that infrared helps my body with the recovery. Like it's so amazing. So I'm so happy Sean is getting on there. Robin and I hit that gym all the time. And Gina was just there this morning. I saw her as I was leaving.
Yeah, she said, "Wow, I was just there today. Missed you, Carla, but I saw you."
Yeah. I
I'm
waved
gonna
at
have to go there one of these days, guys.
Amazing.
Um,
It's
so
amazing.
I mean, that's really interesting though, because that particular work, because that gym special, and I'm not going to get into details because I don't want to get anything wrong, but that gym specializes in a particular kind of workout, like you said, with the infrared, um, and that's good specifically for people with issues like your. I don't want to say issue, but you're
No.
slow to recover. So
Mhm.
that helps you in particular.
Yes.
And there could be a lot of people that particular type of workout would be helpful for, and then not that it would be harmful for anybody else, but other people
Right.
might benefit from a different type of workout, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
I can point you in those directions. Again, I'm not a personal trainer, but I can definitely guide you in certain
Right.
areas that, if that's what you need for your body, then be
Right.
like, I can connect you with somebody for
Right.
sure.
And then when they go to the gym or the trainer, that's up to the trainer to deal with it at that point.
Exactly. Exactly.
Robin said, I have to head out. I will watch the rest later. Thank you for all the info. Thanks for coming, Robin.
Thanks, Robin.
Um, if anybody else has any questions, type them in the chat. I know our numbers that are watching are growing. So probably because I shared it on all the pages. But we kept going off on so many tangents because I had questions. Um, so just to clarify, like say for example, like I know healthy foods to eat, right? Like even if I don't necessarily eat them, like I know what I should be eating. But let's say that I did eat everything that was healthy, the right amount of, like chickens and greens and fruits and all that stuff.
Mhm.
Just because I'm eating something that's objectively healthy does not necessarily mean that's the best thing that I should be eating for both health and diet. I use me. I'm just saying like a person.
Exactly. Exactly. If especially if you're trying to shoot for weight loss. Um,
Okay.
so if you're looking for weight loss for better health, then yes, I'll give the example. I'm not sure if we talked about this offline or on here, but um, when I decided I was the highest weight I'd ever been. I mean, I was like the same weight I was when I was 9 months pregnant. I'm like, and I didn't have a baby in my belly anymore. I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm over it. And I didn't want to do it anymore. So I started eating what I thought was going to be healthy for me, what I've known in the past.
Hmm.
The organic Greek yogurts, the
Hmm.
nice, avocados, the chickens from my backyard. I get eggs. I was doing everything right, organic and healthy and natural. But I really wasn't seeing, and I was working out like 5 days a week. But I didn't realize that I was actually sabotaging myself because when I did my DNA, it came back that I was sensitive to dietary fats. And I'm like, oh my gosh, here I am eating all these beautiful, healthy fats that aren't that best for my body. So I actually cut out the Greek yogurt, except for when I cook with it. Like I'll make like a dressing and I'll use Greek yogurt and water and seasonings instead of like an actual dressing. That's when I use Greek yogurt. I stopped eating so many avocados, and then I only eat the eggs maybe 2, sometimes 3 times a week instead of like almost every day. And that's when and combined with finding out what workout I should have been doing all those right things, I saw those numbers changing. I started seeing the muscle definition in my body. I started losing the weight, and I'd kept those 30 pounds off for over a year and a half now. And that's all because I learned what my DNA said was best for my body, for weight loss, and for my exercise.
Hmm.
So just because you're eating healthy and natural and organic and you're meal prepping and cooking might not be the right food for you. What if you're sensitive in carbohydrates? And what that means is not your refined carbs. Your refined carbs are, your breads and your grains and things like that. But your dietary carbs, like, your fruits and vegetables that are higher in carbs, like that's what you have to be careful with too. Just because you're eating fruit, it might not be the right fruit for you, or the veggie might not be the right veggie for you.
Hmm.
So yeah, and that's what the DNA can tell you.
Well, that's really unfortunate because there's only like 2 fruits that I will eat, and only a couple vegetables that I will tolerate. So if it turns out that I'm sensitive to those, then I'm gonna have a problem.
Oh,
But I
take your
wanted to
supplements to fill in those gaps where you don't eat them. You just take your supplements.
right, if I get the correct supplements, not
Yeah,
the ones that I bought before that I thought were good for me,
right.
and then I never pursued it. I'm like, "I guess I don't need these." Um, Bridget just chimed in. She says, "I love this and want to do business spotlights more often." Bridget's gonna be on my spotlight as well.
Yay.
Oh, so for anybody that doesn't know Bridget, she is a realtor with Samson Properties. I hope I got that right. She'll kill me if it's wrong. And she also started with Robin, the Prince William Professionals, which is a networking group, which Carla and I are both members of. And Bridget's actually going to be talking about that group in the beginning of February. So, Bridget, if you have any more questions, type them in and I will ask Carla while we are here. But I wanted to follow up actually about the sensitivity versus allergy thing because and I know you're not a doctor, but there's a couple foods that like avocados and bananas for some reason I just cannot eat. I don't know if I say that I'm allergic, but I don't like I'm not going to end up in the emergency room. They
Right,
just don't sit well with me. Like they make me
right,
really really sick to my stomach. So it could be I guess a sensitivity. Now that's kind of an obvious one because I know when I eat them like I don't feel well. Um,
right.
so, and I've never gone to a doctor about it because to me it's like, what's the point? I know that I can't eat them, but I know when I was a kid, they would do these horrible allergy tests, like
Cool.
30, almost 30 years ago, they pricked the arm. And like, I don't know if they still do that. That's barbaric, but it
We
was
still
terrible.
do.
They still do. My God, it can't be a better way to test. But anyway, so I never wanted to go through that again. So, um, do people normally go to their doctor to find out what allergies and sensitivities they have? Or do they only go to the doctor once they notice a problem with a particular type of food? And the reason I'm asking is because you mentioned that the DNA test will show things that you're sensitive to that you don't know about. So, did I assume you never felt sick or ill when you ate these certain foods? It was after you took the DNA test that you realized you shouldn't really be eating them. Is that correct?
So that's kind of a different thing. When I say sensitive, it's like to your body as far as if you're looking for weight loss with your food, it's not an allergy test.
Okay.
It's not going to tell you don't eat strawberries because you're going to break out in hives and your throat's going to close up. Like that's something you should, if you, usually people with allergies already kind of know that they have them by a certain age.
Mhm.
And that's definitely something a nutritionist will, or an allergist will test for, or your doctor, most likely an allergist. Hopefully that's where they
Mhm.
will send you to because, you want to send it to a professional.
Right, right, right.
Ours is based on your health and wellness. As far as getting you to a healthy goal, it's not going to tell you
Okay.
what you're allergic to.
Okay.
Because
So
yeah, your DNA is one thing you have when you're born and never changes. But your body can change as
right.
far as allergies, a taste bud lasts 26 days, you get a whole new set of taste buds and skin cells every 7 years. So things just change over time, but my DNA won't change. That's why you like things when you were young and now you don't like them, or maybe you didn't and now you do. It's just that's how that is because you get a whole new set of cells.
oh, I didn't even know that.
It's a cool day.
Okay, so I guess I'm glad I asked because maybe somebody else had the same
Yeah, absolutely.
misconception that I did. So sensitivity doesn't mean it doesn't sit well with your body. It
Right.
means that it's not best for your particular body and weight loss or general health.
If you're looking for weight loss, for
Right.
sure. Yeah. Or if you have inflammation issues, in your hands and your joints, understanding if you have sensitivity to dietary fats would mean that, you need to cut back on that for the inflammation. So it could also tell you for that. Again, it's not an allergy. It's
Yeah,
just,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm glad I asked. That was actually very helpful for me. Gina said she did not know that either. So,
Yeah, Gina, sorry.
um, yeah, but I mean, it's really interesting though because you could. Well, I do not eat. I love junk food and I love food. However, I try to be I'm mindful of what I eat, but I do eat, what I want on occasion, maybe more than I should. But I do work out a lot too. And if you guys don't already know, but most of you know, I'm a certified body pump instructor. And that particular workout I love because I've never felt, I've never been as toned as I was in my entire life until I took that class. Like I cut out soda, I cut out diet soda. I tell you, when I cut out soda, I lost a lot of weight, and then when I cut out diet soda,
Oh
I
yeah.
wasn't bloated anymore because even though
Yeah.
I'd lost weight, I was still bloated. And then when I stopped drinking diet soda, that totally went away. However, I never had abs, and I'm not joking at all, until I started doing this workout. So maybe that means it was the good thing for my body. I don't know. I'm gonna have to take this DNA test. But
Yeah.
but I mean, my point is, I did all these different types of workouts. Like I ate healthy, but there's always something else that you might not know is the better thing to do for your body until take this test.
Right.
And it would have saved me a lot of time and and trouble if I did the DNA test.
Get to the chase. I'm going to just go straight to over and do this. There you
Yeah.
go. No,
But I
no.
mean, does that make sense? Like, is that an example of something that may have been like particularly beneficial for me?
Yeah, if you had a certain goal in mind and you wanted to maximize your results, like I don't want to go in and just start doing stuff at the gym and
Hmm.
eating what I think I should be eating. Yeah, 100% the DNA test will be able to tell you that type of stuff. Here's the direction you can go. And then you can start seeking the help in that direction that you want to go to. Or if you're an athlete, we have young kids that take the test because they're young athletes and they want to be the best they can in high school to get college scholarships, to move
Hmm.
on from then, and taking the DNA to maximize your food, your exercise for those results. It's amazing. And a lot of our products are actually what's called um, informed sports crud. I could say that any other day right off the top of my tongue. Choice. So it's an extra certification just saying that we are that clean for professional athletes. If they have to get, there's random testing once you get into a certain level of your sport or whatever it is you play.
Huh.
It just says that we're that clean and you can take these products. We've got like 6 of them, our protein shakes, our energy, um, our pre and post workout, and I believe it's our hydrate. I think there's one other thing that have that extra certification on there just that says, yes, we're clean. You can take them being an athlete.
Awesome. Okay. Gina says, I love body pump. I used to do it at Freedom Center.
Body pump's fun. That's where I used to do it too.
Yeah. And it was so scary before I did it. Like I was so afraid. I was like, I can't lift weights and did it. But no, it's great.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but
You built into it.
but I mean, for years, I would do, what I thought I should be doing, like whether it was running or running on the treadmill or high intensity interval training, which I still love it all. But you would think, and I thought that, oh well, yeah, I'm gonna lose weight and be in such great shape and da 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 da. But I didn't. I
Yeah.
mean, I was in shape, obviously, but it
Not
might
what
not have
you do, the
necessarily
work
been
you're
right.
doing.
Just because I think in my head, high intensity interval training. I mean, yes, obviously it's better than not doing anything, but it's
Absolutely.
not necessarily the best thing for my body. I mean, so you were saying that for your particular body, endurance exercises like longer stretches of exercising is better.
Yes.
And for somebody else, it might be shorter stretches, like more often in a week or something like that, like running for less time, kind of a
So
thing.
you could have, so I have the endurance gene, but what if you had the, sprinter gene? Let's say you're on the sprinter gene, being on the treadmill. And again, I'm talking, this is fat loss with exercise, if
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
your
yeah.
goal, and you have the sprinter gene, then you're going to have to do the high intensity training to get the most bang for your buck for your body.
Oh,
You're in
okay.
the middle. So my son is right in the middle of both those. It's like a curve that kind of goes like this. And here's your sprinter and here's your endurance. And he's right in the middle. So for him, he can do whatever he wants. If he feels like running that day, he could run that day. If he wants to do high impact training that day, do high impact in training. He knew what he wants for the same result. But I'm all the way on the end. Like there's no other further for that little arrow to go for me for the endurance. So I know that, and Gina and everybody knows it at the gym, the treadmill is not my favorite thing to do, but I know I need to run my butt off on there and be on there as long as I can before I go in and do the weights. I know I have to do the tread.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's funny because you're right. Had we had this test before, I would have been able to do that so many years ago. I did the same thing. I was with Gina. Well, I didn't know Gina then, but I used to go to the Freedom Center all the time. And I'm like, oh, I'll take yoga today and I'll take Pilates
Mhm.
today. Maybe I'll walk around the track. Maybe I'll do like some circuit training. And I was just kind of guessing. And I have never been as fit as I am right now. I've never had muscles before. I've never had I've never had any of that because I was just guessing on what I should do,
Mhm.
thinking, well, I'm exercising. That's good. I'm eating organic. That's great. But I wasn't eating the right food all these years, even though it
Right.
was all like healthy. But I also wasn't doing the right workouts. I mean, I was thin, but I wasn't like toned at all. Like, not
Right. Right. I understand what you're saying. You didn't feel, even though you were healthy and fit, you didn't feel fit.
yeah,
Like you
like
weren't
I
your
wasn't
fittest.
strong. I wasn't any of that. Like,
Right.
yeah, but
Oh, and let me ask another question about energy. I think I mentioned sleep earlier. Um, like me, for example, and like I just keep using me. You guys have any questions, please throw them out there because it's not the Gene hour. um, I'm gonna have to pay for the assessment. But just for example, like I have trouble sleeping. I try to eat healthy, and I know that I could do better. And I do work out. I'm mindful of what I eat. And yeah, we all have stress, and there's so many things we have to look at. But I have trouble sleeping. So um, is that something that's like part of the overall assessment that well,
yeah.
how would like sleep issues and or stress factor into any of this, or does it not factor in?
Oh, no, 100% factors in because
Okay.
I mean, lack of sleep over a prolonged amount of time is going to lead to a whole host of issues in your body. Like people need sleep. A lot of people say, "Oh, I function fine on 4 or 5 hours," but you shouldn't just be functioning. You
Right.
should be living a great life, and you should get the 7 to 8 hours in most of the time. But that is actually a question on the assessment. It asks you about your sleep and it asks you about your stress. And those can also be helped with your supplements. It will give you the right supplements. If you need something that's just an occasional thing, like I don't like once my nutrition and my food have all been fine, I sleep pretty good. But sometimes if my brain starts racing because I got like 1,000 things going on, we do have a sleep strip, and I usually just a half a strip in my cheek, and then I just sleep like a baby all night through. My husband takes a whole strip, and my son takes a whole strip. Um,
Yeah, Gina just mentioned that. What is a sleep strip?
it's funny. Well, I'm not gonna pull one on and get off, but it looks like a little Listerine strip. You just peel the little packet open, and when like your head's on the pillow, the lights are off, your phone is not in front of you, everything is off. You just stick it in your cheek, and it kind of melts like a Listerine strip. It's safe for babies, safe for dogs. It's 100% safe. It doesn't have any like you wake up from like maybe like a sleep drug. It doesn't have anything like that. It's just like again, I don't know the doctory words for it. That's such a great word, doctory words.
Medical.
Yeah, medical term. But there are like 3 chemicals in your brain that tell you that it's time to sleep and it's time to
Mhm.
shut down, it's time to sleep. That's what's in there mimicking it. And then you just sleep easier and you just stay asleep. I love them. Like we swear by them. We even travel with them.
Now, is it possible that somebody does the assessment and then, changes their eating habits based on what the DNA assessment shows and changes their workout habits based on what the DNA assessment shows, that their sleep could improve just because of that?
It could sleep just by getting the right nutrition in your body, 100%.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
did
could be
not
missing something.
I didn't know like how closely, nutrition was related to sleep. I don't mean that to
Wow.
sound like an idiotic thing to
Oh,
say, but I just never knew that like, if you eating the wrong foods is going to affect your sleep. I mean, like we know, if you eat too close to bed, that might not be a good thing. I'm sounding like an idiot right now, but
no, you don't.
I
You
had
don't.
no idea.
No, I promise you, you don't. I always tell people, when they say trust your gut with your instincts and stuff like that, the gut is also like the center of your universe for your body. If you don't treat it well, it's not going to treat you well. And that could be anything going on with your body, from the lack of energy, the lack of sleep, poor concentration, all of that, can happen. Yeah, of course, it could be something that you ate too close to bed. I know we've been trained to like eat these meals like, breakfast, lunch, dinner. And I've been trying to everybody I talk to get them to rethink that. Big breakfast, medium lunch, small dinner. Because you need the big breakfast to go through your day. The medium lunch, because you only have so many hours left in your day, and a very small dinner, because it's not that long before you go to bed after your dinner.
Mm-hmm.
So the dinner should be the smallest meal of your day.
What about eating small amounts throughout the day? Is that something that everybody should do, or not
Your
necessarily?
DNA will tell you that. So,
Oh, and see, I thought that's just what everybody should be doing.
oh, so for me, I need to eat the small meals throughout the day. My son does not, because his DNA says he does not need to do that. But what happens for me is I'm in the red on the, so like a stoplight is what it'll show you. It's like red, yellow, and green on your, okay, like that. So he's on the green on that. For me, I'm on the red for overeating, rebound weight gain, obesity. I'm like in the reds on all of that. And the problem is, I don't have, my appetite does not get satiated. I don't feel full. If I eat my food, I don't always feel full. So I would eat more food, you know, but once I found out that, I realized, okay, there's little tricks that I can do. One, I eat a little snack in between my breakfast, my lunch, and my dinner. I make sure I get, 100 to 120 ounces of fluids in a day, and definitely before my meal. I put my fork down and I chew really, really well between my bites, and that helps my brain, because it takes like 30 minutes for your brain and stomach to talk to each other to tell you that it's full. So
Mhm.
doing all these different things for me, I can satiate my appetite, and then I eat less, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. Just because it's organic doesn't mean you can't get fat from it.
Well, yeah. You eat too much of anything. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that the DNA can tell you that, whether you should eat the small meals or if the 3 meals, like it really breaks everything down for you.
Hmm. So when you say you were in the red for obesity, rebound weight gain, and something else, does that mean you're prone to it?
It means, yeah. So then think free will. My body means, the test shows that my body is prone to do that. Just
Okay.
like, trying to think of a better word for that. Hmm. It means that I am predispositioned to do that. It doesn't mean I will be obese.
Right.
It doesn't
Right.
mean I will do that, but I have to be careful on certain things, because I put weight on so fast, like so fast. So I have to be always be careful for me. I
Hmm.
can go on vacation just for a few days and I can put 5 to 8 pounds on
Hmm.
fast. So I can't just go, oh, I'm on vacation. I'll just eat
Yeah.
this little extra here and I'll eat this little extra here, because I put it on so fast.
I do the exact same thing, and people always say, "Oh, stop, stop." Anybody that has when people meet me in person, like after Zoom, they're like, "Oh my God, you're so tiny."
I know.
Yes, but
Yeah.
I am tiny, but I
Yeah.
can also put on weight really easily. Like I'm sure Carla, like from my bone structure, and just because of what you do, it's
Yeah.
very easy for me to put on weight. So I really like, even though I work out, like I have to be mindful of what I'm eating. I cannot just eat what I want. Yes, I can occasionally eat what I want, but I my metabolism is higher because I've just I've been mindful of it for so long, and I try to eat the right things, like when I'm at home, like so if I go out, if I can have something that I shouldn't have or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, and the same thing with extra. Like I have to work out all the time. I just have to, because I can easily put on weight. And I'm not saying I'm doing the right workouts. I'm not saying I'm eating the right things,
Yeah.
but like I
No, but you know
think
your
about this
body.
all the time.
Yeah.
Like it's just part of my lifestyle. Like I think about it.
Yeah. Yeah. So that you could be very well be in the red on some of those things, at least the rebound, weight gain. I When I was heavier before, I did the whole not understanding, I didn't know the DNA. This was like several years ago. And I took off about 20 pounds. Yeah, it was almost 20 pounds. And then once I kind of like, I didn't learn anything. I just did this program that someone says I should do. So I'm like, I did it. I didn't learn anything. So there wasn't anybody helping me. I didn't learn anything from the program. It was just like, here, buy this. I'm like, I did it. And it was great. But once I was done with the program, I didn't know what else to do afterwards because it
Mhm.
was eating the product that they had. And I put all that weight plus 13 pounds on. It was horrible. So this is actually education. Like you get a roadmap to your body, literally, to find out what you need to do. And and like I said, it's been 2 years since I kept the weight off, but I've been at the gym for a year and a half, and that's where I figured out how to get my muscle tone and
Mhm.
good. Yeah.
Hmm. Well, that's awesome. If you guys have any more questions, type them in the comments because I will probably just keep going because I think of more things and we have to eventually end this. Carla, is there anything else that I didn't ask that people should know or anything else you want to leave us with before we end for the day?
Um, yeah, anybody can do this, really. I kind of always was into eating healthy and things like that because my son was actually, let me just back up real quick how I joined ID Life.
Mm,
My son was diagnosed with ADHD as soon as they could actually give him that stupid little label, but it actually answered a lot of questions. Now that I look back at videos of him, like, oh yeah, I should have known that. And we treated him environmentally, so we treated him with food and the right things for his body, which was great. And he did so well in school and everything until high school. And it started to go downhill from there. And then we started to medicate him. And it was horrible. I went kicking and screaming into the medication. And rightly so, because he developed a couple twitches in the face. He had stomach aches. He would get heart palpitations through the medications. I says, for the birds, we're not doing this anymore. So I took him off of the medication when I found ID Life, and they had this energy drink, which is a time released caffeine, no chemicals, no sugars, no dyes, which, as anybody with child with ADD or ADHD knows, you can't have those things. So I had him drink one before school in the morning, and he said he felt great. So this was a sophomore in high school when he started on the energy drink and the supplements. Of course, we dialed up the supplements and figured out what his body needs too.
mhm, mhm.
He is now he's starting now as a junior. Actually, we pack him out this weekend to go to Mary Washington as a junior, still taking the energy because he knows that's what he needs for his body. And he has been so amazing with it. That's how I joined ID Life, because my son's ADHD and I found this energy drink through somebody else. So
Oh,
um, I didn't just know all this stuff. This has been like 4 years of using the products and
right.
then 3 years being with the company. But if anybody is ever interested, I would love to have them as a teammate and help them to help other people get healthy as well.
Awesome. So we'll put in the comments, Carla, I'll ask you, and if you guys are watching it now or watching the replay, you can obviously click on the link. Carla, I'll ask you to put in your email address if you want to, or a website where people can go for more information. But yeah, this was so incredibly helpful. So, and if you guys have any questions, you have Carla's contact information now, so you can get in touch with her and, get more information about the DNA assessment and do that. I'm definitely going to try this because this sounds really. I'm actually kind of afraid of what it's going to show. Doing things wrong
I
for
do
30.
that all the time. I'm like, you know what? You're just getting a roadmap to your body. It's only going to be nothing but good information for you to
That is
take
true.
with
That's
you.
true. That's true. And I'm still going to drink my coffee and eat my cookies.
Why not?
Yeah,
Why not?
I'm not gonna
Gotta
stop.
live. You gotta live.
Um, but yeah, so no, this was so incredibly helpful, Carla. I really appreciate it. And I've known Carla for a couple of years now, not
Mhm.
super well, but through networking stuff. And I'm actually really glad that we did this because I had like I knew what she did, but I had no idea like the details about all of this, and it's so interesting.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for doing this, and everybody who tuned in. So many people like use your products and love it. Oh, I don't know what this is in response to. Uh, Because I said I'm still gonna drink my coffee and eat my cookies, and Bridget said, "And eat at Mum with me." Yep, not gonna give that up.
Yeah, don't give things up. Everything in moderation, right?
Shout out to Mum and Bristow. Great
Oh,
choice.
nice.
But
Yeah.
yeah, so thanks Tina Cross for tuning in, and Sandra Davis. I don't know if that's my computer or yours. And Gina Mitchak. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. And Bridget, who I know is still here. Hey, Bridget. So thank you guys and everybody else for tuning in. I guess that's the sound that we have to go. All right,
It's
Carla.
actually Gina texting me. It's
Gina.
on my computer, but my phone's off.
Okay, well, thanks so much again. So I'll see Gina and Bridget and Tina, oh, and Robin and
Yes.
everybody else soon. And Carla, I'm sure I'll see you too soon too. So thanks
Thank
again.
you for
And
having me. I
Carla,
appreciate it.
stay on for a second. Once I end the live video, we'll still be here. So
Okay.
bye everybody, and tune in for the next live in 2 weeks. Bye.